Okay, nearly a month ago, Queen Daenerys Stormborn, last scion of House Targaryen, sent 3 of her subjects on a quest to the near opposite end of Westeros in Oldtown. Finally, after many trials and tribulations, Lord Ian Spire, Claire the Girl formerly of Fleabottom, and the Braavosi Adraldus have arrived. The city is nothing as you had thought it would be. Only 20 years ago, Oldtown was the most populous city in Westeros, and until you arrived, there was nothing to suggest much else had changed. There were known embargoes and very little travel, but complete extinction of a populace was unfathomable. As you look upon the ruins of a once thriving city, a feeling of dread begins to well up in your stomachs. Your horses, which had braved the wastelands, refuse to get any closer. You cannot prod them, whip them, or drag them. You are forced to hitch them up and hope for the best. Violent winds blow dust from the outskirts of the abandoned city into your hair and eyes, making you move closer to Oldtown for cover. Before you realize it, you stand on cobblestones instead of flattened dirt trails overgrown with tall grass and wild bushes and weeds. The sound of wind dies down, only to be replaced by that of hundreds of ravens. They sit on near every roof and wall. Their voices call out in unison, "Go, go!" Or was it "No, no"? It was all a trick of the ear, certainly, as their avian eyes seem to follow you, the 3 outsiders, as you walk. What are you guys gonna do?
Well, Claire starts by wrapping a scarf around her head. I don't know what you call it exactly, but
kind of
wrapped
like a
up.
bandana to keep the crap out of her eyes.
Yeah, out of her
Mouth.
As much as she can.
Yeah.
Right? Mouth, ears, nose. Yeah.
Ian's probably going to hold his rather expensive. Well, he doesn't have an rather expensive. No, he has a shield, although it never gets used. So just go above his face. Oh, you know what? No, he's going to hold like a piece of cloth over his face and move over, like a feigned kind of disapproving like look as he has to do so.
Araldus just kind of holds a hand over his mouth, kind of unpleasantly looking at the surroundings.
Yeah, as you kind of duck into the city, the wind dies down. It's almost as though the winds from the outskirts of the wastelands were pushing you closer into the city. As you start walking into between buildings and such, the wind pretty much disappears or is a light breeze instead. Only now you see all these ravens flying overhead or looking down from their perches.
Is it truly abandoned looking then, like no one's about? Because if there was, Araldus would kind of suggest almost going inside somewhere and collecting their thoughts.
It truly looks abandoned. The only thing you see from this vantage is the ravens and buildings dilapidated and such.
I think Ian's gonna have you spoken that up, Araldus? Maybe hobble inside of a building for a little bit.
Yes, Araldus definitely will kind of go to a house along the street and maybe see if the door is unlocked or open, and maybe go in and get off the street for a moment since it's virtually deserted. These 3 stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, you can easily open the door of a building and you walk inside. Inside is filled with cobwebs, dust, grime. Clearly it's been abandoned for some time.
Now, as this is just a out of character thing. Mm-hmm. Now, for my knowledge,
yep.
Oldtown was just in general Westerosi knowledge.
Yep. Yeah.
Could I remark about something about the population should be booming here?
Yeah, you definitely know that it was it was more populated than King's Landing. It wasn't technically as large space-wise, but there's more population in Oldtown than King's Landing. As of your knowledge, that would be the same, but nobody really, like basically House Gardner, which took over Oldtown and the surrounding areas, became very isolationist, and so there wasn't any trade with Oldtown or anything like that. There was trades with different ports, but never Oldtown directly, and this is probably why.
Now, have we seen any sign of the former inhabitants? I mean, skeletal remains, anything?
Nope.
Yeah, that would be like. So it would be a case if they just picked up and moved, or were forced to move.
Perhaps. Yeah, you don't see any dead bodies or anything.
Yeah, I think Ian, as they enter this refuge, he kind of says, "This is most perplexing. This place should be, well, more populated than King's Landing."
This does not bode well for us. We don't have the anonymity of a populace to hide behind, to hide our intentions. I suggest either waiting for dark to sneak around in the cover of darkness, or being extremely careful with how we proceed towards the citadel.
Well, I think this might be the time where I have to leave you. They were expecting me. If not, they should be.
It's a bold risk. It's one, a decision you have to make, but it's just...
Yeah, Claire's not really even sure how to respond to that.
Out of character, how do you mean that he's expected?
Magics and shit from the Magi, I think his name was, or whatever the fuck he was.
Oh, the Magister?
Yeah.
Magistrate? Mm-hmm.
It's undoubted that, like, if I was coming here because I was being bade to by them, or basically given leave to, because that was the precedence, right? Like, we were given, or I was given the okay to come here by him, more or less, because we were being escorted.
No. Well, he allowed you leave to go into the waste. The people that escorted you was somebody random, right? It wasn't from him.
Okay. Well, if the Citadel still stands, then they aren't going to let a sellsword and a woman enter.
Never said I was going through the front door. If you think you can convince them otherwise with your, wits, that you're here to reign as a mage or whatever the hell that guy, the Magister, said, then luck.
I think that's the way we should go about it.
I agree with Araldus. I think that perhaps Dark gives at least he and I the best chance we have at sneaking about.
Ian just kind of scratches his scruff. Like, how much time do we have left before God, what is it called? Before the
ship leaves?
The ship leaves.
3 days plus.
Oh, God, fuck.
It was 3 days. It was 3 days from, the launch to here. So.
Okay. It might be best to go now, but I do see your point. Ian kind of, sits on like after brushing off like layers and layers of dust off of like a broken barrel that's barely standing up, but looks sturdy enough.
Well, and so the thief wants to take a look around this building we're in to see if she can determine whether it appears that the former occupants left in an orderly fashion and took everything of import with them, or did they just sort of disappear and everything is still sitting around?
Right, I gotcha. Why don't you roll awareness notice? Everybody can do that if they want.
Yeah, I think I will. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna be any help here, but
Wow. So each the three of you, as you're kind of looking around, here's what you notice: on the walls, there are shapes that look like they could vaguely be people. Darker than whatever the whatever the base is. Wouldn't be paint, but whatever the base wood is, it looks like it's maybe like, I don't know, something ingrained into the walls. It looks kind of a little strange. You're not sure if it's like just blob and gob or just, but it could be people, you think?
Huh. Yeah, I think. Could I well, knowledge won't actually help me here, so never mind.
This place, Araldus, definitely feels the heebie-jeebies that they experienced when they came in.
I mean, definitely the Bravosi should be feeling some fucking heebie-jeebies, because I don't like fucking House and Night and Dark or some shit. Like,
I definitely don't want to stick around this town, this ghost town, longer than we have to, but I can't battle whatever magic they seem to possess, but darkness is a friend of mine and possibly Claire's. That might be our best bet. I am very against a knock on the front door approach.
Well, it might be the best distraction that you can afford yourselves. I mean, honestly, if not, how are we to enter otherwise? I'm not much of a fighter, Araldus, and you should know this.
Claire chimes up. I think that's sort of what he's trying to avoid.
I see.
Well, why not go and talk to them? If I can get entrance and train to be one of them, and then he points to kind of like the blue like fade on his lips, then why not?
If you think you can bluff your way through the front, well, Claire from the rear. I mean, Claire and I go through the rear. It's up to you. I think it's fiction. But Araldus is at a loss for words. He does. I mean, he's still getting over the shock of. He's going to what he knows, and that's skulking about and not.
Mike, I think you're cutting in and out.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, that's sort of where the thief is. I mean, if you really think you have a shot at talking to them, I certainly don't know what to say.
I'm
fairly certain, though, as you mentioned earlier, they're not just going to let the sellsword and the woman walk in the door. So
you have bigger balls than myself if you're going to go through the front door, but I only ask you allow Claire and I a chance to assess the situation from the shadows first.
Yeah, okay. Ian kind of. Yeah, Ian's gonna do it. He's gonna say, "I'm going to go to the Citadel gates, and hopefully that'll buy you enough time to see if you can do anything about it." If I'm inside, I will do what I can to help acquire.
I can't force you to stay, so all I can do is wish you good luck then.
Fire and blood. He kind of says with like a grin.
More blood than fire.
So you're all going at the same time? How you...
I mean, from an out-of-combat perspective, I mean, if he's going to go up the front door, I very much think Claire and I should kind of, I don't know, from a start, like, kind of circle wide and work our way in looking for,
Yeah.
access points.
So one point.
We almost
point.
need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
I mean, if they just slay him outright immediately, then
That's true, but we don't know anything about the situation. Obviously, we're gonna observe first. That's probably our first step. Like, obviously, we aren't just gonna go blind into it. But
Yeah. One point about kind of what the image on the screen is essentially kind of how it looks. Although it was probably late afternoon when you got there, it's like seems to be kind of what's the word? Like there's like a dark in the sky, kind of gray, gloomy. Yeah, like it's not mist, but it almost seems like it's pretty dark already. Overcast, yeah, but it's not natural. It's like, yeah, the clouds are dark.
So it's already like
pretty dark.
Yeah, it's already dark. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, we'll wait for the token it get darker, and then we realize when it doesn't get any darker, we kind of bring it up like, well, it's not gonna get any darker, and we're only wasting time. We should go now. Maybe we can look around before I walk up to the gates and say hello.
All right.
Okay, so you exit your small building, and what you know about the Citadel is essentially it is in the middle of the city. So here we go. I'll show you something. So the streets of Oldtown are abandoned of any people. There are no milkmaids, merchants, small folks, or king. There are only the three of you, and yet there is life abundant. The ravens, firstly, watch you wherever you go and whatever you do. There is no escaping them. Outside the perch above, inside, they seem to peer at you through dirty and broken windows. Next, you hear the barking or baying, whichever a man would call it, and it seems to echo at a difference. Dogs, probably wild and feral, perhaps. It did not appear that there were masters of the hunt anywhere nearby. The sun is strangely blotted by dust that seems to be thrown about by the high winds outside the city, making constant shadows dance across the street that you pass. It seems that the road or turn might be darker, but there always seems to be, at that point, the sun breaks through at the last moment and repels the shadow that is engulfing much of your way forward. Okay, so eventually you make your way towards the Citadel. Any additional things to say or do?
Maybe as we're going in, try to get some, obviously I'm going to hang back as far as I can because I'm not stealthy in the fucking slightest, but those two are, and they can be all stealthy and whatnot, and this isn't my area of expertise. They could probably look around or something. That might be something you guys want to do,
I know Araldus isn't looking to do it. He's doing some reconnaissance right now. He's not looking to, mix some water and ash together and, go blackface and find some rope to see about assisting himself over the wall.
Yeah.
Blackface.
So you do head forward, and you see what appears to be a conglomeration of buildings kind of connected. And as the descriptions that you have heard about the Citadel, that would probably seem to match that description. It's hard to say exactly, but you do notice something strange, and that is this. So unlike many of the buildings of Oldtown, the Citadel is not in such grave repair. It can be identified by the pair of tall green sphinxes guarding the gate, which is long fallen. One looks forward with a male face and the other female. Their iron eyes seem to follow you as you approach. The tower and domes beyond are connected with arching stone bridges, which are lined with houses and stalls, mostly long forgotten and collapsed. There appears to be one sign of life. There is a light shining from the largest tower in the complex. So it seems like even most of the citadel is abandoned.
Well, that simplifies and horrifies me.
Yeah, like Lord Ian just says, that's not supposed to be. Heraldus is be a gentleman, and he kind of points to the citadel as like,
I can go forward. I mean, I see no sign of guards. I see nothing. I can scout forward a little and see how far we can get in, but this is
beyond me too, Heraldus. No worries.
I am lost for words.
Shall we go forward, I guess? Lady Daenerys is not. She isn't paying me enough.
Yeah, Heraldus will kind of draw his left-handed dagger and rapier and kind of start sneaking forward.
So you walk forward and you pass the Sphinx gate and step around the broken actually gate portion, which has fallen onto the ground. You walk in some probably, let's say, 100 to 200 feet. There's keeping into the darkness as best you can, but you don't see signs of anyone. Eventually you see the stone bridge that crosses a very tiny, it looks like what used to be some sort of maybe a moat or a natural tributary of the Honeywine. It's hard to say. It's completely empty now, with just black sludge at the bottom, probably mud, and that bridge connects to a large tower, and it happens to be the tower with the light shining from the top. There are other buildings nearby, but none seem to be anything but abandoned.
We should make we could use one of the nearby buildings, like one of the Citadel buildings, obviously. Like, we could go there and, like, make that, like, our, come back here point. Like a rally point, basically, like,
Home base.
Well, and do any of them reach a height even with the light in the other tower? Can we get in one of these buildings, climb high enough to maybe see what's going on with this light?
No, there's none that are that tall. The tower is clearly the tallest building within the Citadel. You can't see far enough to know, because it is common knowledge that there is the tower of House Hightower, which is actually out on an island in the Honeywine, but you can't see it from here, so you're don't really know where it is. But as far as buildings within the Citadel close enough, this is the tallest one. There are a couple, they appear to be semi-connected buildings through bridges and such, but those are not at the height of the light, at least.
Yeah, but we could grab one of the Citadel buildings, right?
Yeah, just like the other building, they're all empty except some of them have ravens inside. Like, there you go and there's nowhere you can go and not see a raven. They're inside buildings, on top of buildings. You probably assume that this is because of the humongous rookery that the Citadel probably had.
Does anybody have any corn? I said, as much as every part of me begs to differ, we press forward as far as we can. There's nothing here. It is a ghost town. Whatever foul magic seems to have taken hold of this place, it at least made our entrance in here easier.
Yes, we should most likely go to the source. I mean, if they were to have the eggs, then it will be in, well, the vault, I guess.
Like moths to the flame, we go.
Oh, very poetic of you.
It's my hobby.
So you're going to head straight to the most obvious entry to the tower? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Obviously, now we're not doing it stupidly, like, you know.
Yeah, no.
I think if there are buildings that are connected by bridges at presumably higher elevations,
Yep.
I say we go that route.
I think a more roundabout way would probably be a good idea. It might also give us some insight to what's going on in here and seeing some of the secondary and tertiary buildings to see what's, if anything, is in them.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might find some nice books, Ian.
Oh, yes. This is the Citadel, after all. There aren't books here, like old decrepit books. I'm gonna be rioting.
There were people.
Okay, so you head to one of the buildings that is connected to the tower. You enter without any kind of fanfare whatsoever. The ravens kind of scatter as you come in. The room is very similar to the one you saw before, but maybe a little bit different in a sense of what was in them before. It looks like there's fairly large desks and chairs, and all that stuff looks like it was at one time nicer. But really there's no difference. You see those weird shadows on the wall. You move through in a more logical fashion of where the stairs might be. You find them. You ascend higher and higher into that building until there's nowhere to go. And then you find basically the bridge that heads into the tower without any fanfare whatsoever. There's nothing of real importance there. You do see some books. They're you don't know what they are. They aren't in Westerosi that you can tell. Some of them are really badly damaged.
Can I, like, peruse them? Because no, I can't, because I only have 10, so I can't read Valyrian. Never mind.
Yeah, you can.
Are the ravens paying any unnatural attention to us? Acting like normal ravens, or are they following us around, staring at us?
No, they're not. They just seem to be everywhere. They don't necessarily... I mean, with that many ravens, yeah, you could assume they're looking at you, but it's really hard to say. There's just dozens in almost every room you go into. There's never a room without a raven. Which, that seems strange, obviously. But they're everywhere. And one actually does fly kind of above your head and tries to land on Claire's shoulder. What does Claire do?
Araldus will get Claire's reaction.
I don't guess Claire has any particular aversion to birds. So I don't guess she'd hit it or anything. If it's not attacking her, I suppose.
No, it doesn't attack you. As it lands on your shoulder, you could swear it says "go, go," or maybe it says "no." It's hard to say. It could just be nothing, right?
If only they had lips, Araldus quips.
Well, I mean, this is the inner city, so they'd probably talk like little hoodlums.
Go, yo. Go, yo. That's what he's saying. Go, yo.
Bro, yo.
Bro, yo.
Oh, God.
And it doesn't stay there for a long period of time. It obviously flies off because it's just a bird. And
well, I suggest we follow the Raven's advice.
Bird lives matter, okay?
Press forward.
Yeah, keep going.
You cross the bridge into the tower and begin to climb it. So here we go. So the tower is full of oddities. Parts appear to be completely collapsed and dilapidated, while others have been cared for and there is barely a sign of decay. The stairwell shares this distinction. There are spots where you're forced to crawl, leap, and climb to make your way up the stairs. Other than your own noises, there is only the ravens to keep you company. Higher in the tower you climb, taking note of your lack of stealth due to multiple sections of the stairs that force you into a scramble. Almost all the adjoining rooms are of little import, destroyed or otherwise, until you reach the level where the light seems to shine from one of the rooms. The room is, for a lack of better phrase, messy. A vast bookshelf covers each wall, with some pulled out lengthways to various bookmarks sticking out from beneath the pages marked. There are several tables covered in papers, vials, and decanters, strange instruments, and more books. Set upon a hook near the door is a strange candle made of green glass that is shining with a strange green light that illuminates the room and hall outside. Eventually, your eyes look around the room, and surprisingly, you spot a lone, scaled black egg resting on a circular, hollow stand that seems to fit the object perfectly.
My Indiana Jones fucking senses are tingling. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Out of combat, it's just like I can think of the beginning of Ghostbusters, where it's "Go get her, Ray." Raldus looks at Claire and goes, "My dear, if you'd be so kind to fetch some eggs."
Yeah, Claire's eyeing the egg.
Can I like look around this room? Is there anything like pitfall traps or like? This just seems too fucking easy.
You don't see anything. It just looks like a big part of a library / study, as far as you can tell.
If I might add, this is a little easy, Araldus.
Note, there's only one egg there. You're supposed to be finding
Too easy.
3.
1 down, 2 to go, I suppose.
Where would the others be? One of these books must have something on the Citadel itself. Blasted place.
I don't think you'll find much here, though. I do suggest we grab this egg and continue.
Yeah, well, Claire's eyeing the egg, the stand.
Why don't you roll? I'll let you roll some sort of stealth or awareness, whichever you want, to kind of inspect it. Thievery, even, kind of. Awareness notice if you're using that. Everything else is.
Well, if it's up to me, then yeah, like a stealth sneak or a thievery sneak.
Yeah, do something out of thievery instead of stealth.
Because this is kind of Claire's like showing up.
So you
she can roll that 1. Let's see if she gets better.
So that would increase it by 1.
Yep.
Give you 17. That's a good roll.
Yeah.
So you are inspecting the stand, and it's not to scale, right? The stand is probably about 5 feet high, so it's right, you're probably about your face level. And you're inspecting it to make sure there's no odd booby traps or anything like that, and you do not see anything whatsoever. It looks like it's just sitting there.
Okay, well, she kind of glances at Araldus like electrocutes me or something, tackle me. And she'll try removing the egg.
So you pick up the egg, and you have it in your hands, and nothing happens.
Hard to think that that's a dragon egg, isn't it?
It is very heavy comparatively, like to what you would assume, right? Something of that size would be, but it's heavy and scaly.
Do I think it really is a dragon egg, or
As far as you
carved
would
stone or something?
No, it feels like what you would expect. It's the scales are hard as stone. They are, but they are. It's definitely ridged and scaled. It's not like chiseled stone or anything like that,
so
as far as you can tell.
Guess we should have brought something to put these in.
You can
I would
assume you
assume
have a
that we
satchel
have
or
bags.
something.
I was gonna say I presumed we had that.
Yeah, you have that. You have.
Get this
something
far on our
stuck
journey and realize we don't have our clothes on.
away.
Well,
Didn't bring our damn backpacks.
You didn't have it listed.
So okay, well, we'll stash this one and.
I actually had stuff listed until fucking, Mr. Pirate Man wanted to steal all our stuff.
So as you tuck it away, from behind you there's a voice, and it's a very calm, eerie voice, and it says, "There's no need to steal what has already been bequeathed as a gift."
This, of course.
Araldus, there's no place for your tricks. And he turns around, and obviously it's not Araldus. Well then.
Standing in the doorway is a man of middling height, and he's probably a little overweight, with a bald head and a beard. He kind of looks like he's got large jaws and kind of would resemble some sort of flat-faced dog, like a bulldog. And he has a simple bluish robe that kind of shimmers as the candle on the wall, the light hits it, and he kind of puts his hands together. He seems very serene and not irritated in the least. And he says, "Ah, you've arrived finally. The apprentice, Lady Raven, and the Blade of Bravos. Welcome."
Well, that's
Claire
just
would give a
disturbing.
curtsy.
You know that.
Well, normally I would have had, a herald announce my entrance, but you don't seem to be in great keeping here.
He just kind of smiles slightly and walks over to a chair and sits down as he just looks at you kind of absently.
So, Araldus kind of hides behind his mask of, flippant, flamboyant attitude and says, "So, kind of let the place turn into a shithole."
He nods and he's like, "I did not let anything happen." He's like, "This is what happens when you delve too deep. When you look too far into the darkness stares back."
I'm very impressed you managed to survive while the rest of Oldtown seemed to not fare as well.
He's like, there are reasons for such things." And he looks at Claire and then Ian, and he's like, "And this is that time." He leans back and he's like, "I have a gift for each of you." He's like, "Which one would receive these gifts first?"
The sounds, it feels like I'm experiencing deja vu. Ian, would you care to go first?
Yeah, sure. I know what mine is. But yeah, Ian's like, what need have we of gifts? I mean, you've.
He's like, I've given your queen a gift. This is the gift that was hers many years ago. It just ended up in my hands. He's like, but that is not the reason you are here. It is the reason you believe you are here. But that is not the truth. He's like, as Azor Ahai defeated the others, there is more at stake in Westeros and here, in these cursed lands. It is not all lords and ladies, for the others fell, but there is a new danger arising. Did you not see it as you came? Did you not speak to the blue-lipped magister, using his shade of the evening to increase his powers, to do what I do? And he kind of looks away and he's like, I'm sorry, I did not introduce myself. I am Archmaester Marwyn, the last maester of these lands, at least. And so it's common knowledge that Archmaester Marwyn was known as the Mage. He was like big into the occult studies of the Citadel, basically the only person that studied those sort of things. Not the only one, but the only one seriously. And you notice he has a chain around his neck, and it's made in a metal that you're not really familiar with. And if you roll knowledge, I can...
Okay, something I can do. Doot. Would knowledge,
Anyone but Streetwise would be fine. Yeah, it's Valyrian. His chain is made completely of Valyrian.
How did you forge such a chain? That much Valyrian steel on your neck is... oh, well, priceless.
He shrugs and he's like, there are ways. Valyrian is just a metal. I've had this chain for, quite a while. It means nothing. It is a reminder.
Of what? You could look outside and have a reminder.
Ah, but I see differently than you do. I see all things at once. I see the future and the past. He nods to the candles sitting on the wall, and he's like, of course you're present as well.
Candle? You kind of just like...
He's like, that is a glass candle, he admittedly says. He's like, that let me see your arrival when you got to the launch, and your unfortunate meeting with the Magister. I'm afraid he sent you here to, well, expire. But I have been preventing this.
So the little girl, the whole blood thing, that was you?
Oh, not exactly, he says.
Then
like, these lands are more
us?
complicated than I can explain currently. He's like, apprentice, let me ask you. Do you believe your destiny is by counting coppers for a queen? Do you think that's why a man of your age and abilities was sent here?
By in part, yes.
No. You are wrong. He looks at one of the books and walks over, and it's one of the ones that is bookmarked, and pulls it out, and he hands it to you. And he's like, please read what is inscribed on that page, and he points to like a bookmark sticking out.
Yeah, and he'll read it aloud if he can, if it's in a language he can.
Yeah, it's...
You know, kind of like...
Yep.
What is it? Let's see. Does it do you have like a handout for it, or?
I don't actually, because I'm making it up on the fly, but essentially it says something to the effect that Lord Ian Spire was a maester of the Citadel, and known that he traveled from Dragonstone and became a great and wise maester that helped defeat the Shadow.
seems that your book has some fallacies. I am no maester.
Marwyn nods, and he's like, not yet. That book is not written. And you look back down, and the page is blank.
I think Ian just kind of like he just throws down the not throws it down, but like he like, oh shit, like drops the book and is like, you know, he says something to the effect of, by the gods. And this is probably the first time you guys have seen like or heard his religious side.
Marwyn nods, and he's like, yes, I know, it's all very confusing at this point, but it will not be soon. And he walks over to a decanter and picks it up, and Ian knows what it is. He senses what it is. And Marwyn says, I apologize, but this is the only way for people who are not gifted as I am to see more. I can help you break your human constraints with study, but for now, this must be the way. And he sits out the decanter before you, and he's like, I take no pleasure in such remedies. Perhaps you will think about it while I talk to the others.
Oh god, bound to the bottle, fuck.
So, yeah, as you guys know, out of character, I gave him Bound to the Bottle. So yeah. Anyway, he looks over at Araldus now, and he's like, I have another decanter for you, Ravosi. And he says, Valar Dohaeris, correct? I do not wish you to drink this. I wish you to deliver this.
To
someone you have never met and may never meet. There is a woman, a shadowbinder, I would call her, red of hair and ancient. There is more than just lords and ladies fighting for land, as I had said, and titles. There is a plague washing over the land. Many plagues, in fact. Eventually it will consume all of Westeros and all of Essos. Anyone you knew or loved, they will perish, if these things are not brought to heel. I do apologize.
And this woman's name?
I do not know her name. I am unable to see certain things from people who are special. I can tell you where you can find her. You will find her with, well, the Queen of the Stone-Faced, Queen Shireen Baratheon in King's Landing.
Is Araldus familiar with who he's talking about?
You would Melisandre? No, probably not.
I didn't know how well her name traveled past the Crownlands, so
yeah, I mean, you would know that there's some witch. I mean, it's common knowledge that Shireen dabbles with witches and red priest and stuff. You don't really.
Yeah, we know the Lord of Light is strong in the Crownlands, but not individuals. Okay.
Yeah, you don't know what a Shadowbinder is, that kind of stuff, really.
Araldus kind of almost... it's almost absurd what he's asking, so he kind of repeats, so you want me to take this drink to a woman I don't know and give it to her, but I'll know when it is and who it is, even though you don't know who it is, and that will stop some sort of magic plague. Well, shit, that sounds easy.
He
Tuesday
kind of smiles, and he's like, I realize it sounds ridiculous to your ears. Take it to the Queen.
Sounds good. I'll just walk right on up like I did here.
He smiles, and he's like, it won't be as difficult as all that. It was very difficult to walk up here. You just do not know how difficult it was. And he looks at the vial and he says, "As a man of Bravos, will you keep to your word and take this as I've asked? It is my gift to you in exchange for the gift of the egg. If not, well, I do not know what I can do about the egg. It is a trade. Call it what you will."
As a man of Bravos, I give you my word. A decanter for an egg.
So, are you lying?
Nope.
Okay. So he seems satisfied with that, and he's like, "Please do not lose it or spill it. I would implore you. It is more important than you might know."
Very well.
And so he looks over to Claire, and he's like, "Lady Raven." He's like, "Welcome."
Claire has her arms crossed and is looking at him sort of sideways. But she smiles and nods when he addresses her.
He says, "Lady Raven, I have already given you a gift. Well, it's not so much as a gift or that I have given, but you have taken. It was your destiny." He's like, "You have come here not to steal an egg, but to grow, to become something more than what you were born. Do you believe such things are true? You must believe, or you will not survive."
Well, what he's saying is true in Claire's mind. She is here on this mission in order to become more than what she was. Maybe not the way he means it, but that's what she thinks she's doing.
Or maybe that is exactly how he means it.
Maybe.
And
that she doesn't know.
Yeah. He smiles and he's like, "I think you would do well. But, just in case, I do not want you to be afraid when you walk out of these doors and realize what has happened." He's like, "Accept the change. It is part of your path and your destiny, as I had said. Accept the change." He repeats that again. "And you must go when you're called." And he seems to kind of not have much else to say other than that. And then he finally returns to Ian, and he's like, "Lord Ian, apprentice, what have you decided? Or do you have questions for me before you decide?"
Where are the other eggs?
"Ah, the other eggs. One was green and one was a white color. One I hatched. The other was stolen before I returned to the citadel many years ago. I am sorry. I would not be trying to hatch any more eggs again. It is beyond my capabilities. It must be hatched by, well, the blood of Valeria, which I do not have. Would you like to see the hatched egg?"
I've never seen a dragon, so yes, I will.
Sure.
Like, very well. And so, essentially, he just kind of, snaps his fingers, and in walks this heavily armored, stunted-looking creature. It appears human, but it's somewhat, it's bowed over. You can tell that it has leathery wings under its arms, and has large feet with claws. And he explains, he says, "This is what hatched a deformity, just as the kings of old, when they tried to hatch the last dragons. I did no better, but I repurposed it as a golem to do my bidding."
This thing looks like a monstrosity.
It definitely does.
Geraldo kind of steps back, hand on the hilt of his blade, kind of like.
Geraldo, stay your hand. That thing would kill us before we could even try.
Well, you perhaps, but.
He's like, it would not harm you. It does it has no mind. It has no soul. It does as I wish. I wish you no harm. Certainly far from it.
Do you seek an alliance with Lady Daenerys? Is this why you're giving such graces?
No. I seek nothing from Daenerys Highgarden. Or Targaryen. I seek only a cure to the ills that fall from delving too deep into the darkness. It is all I can do, but I cannot leave this place.
And you want me to stay here?
Yes, I need help with things. Things are not happening as I might wish. I cannot do this alone. A golem is good for things, fetching books, killing wolves, such things of super little importance. But I need someone with a mind. I need someone who can read texts, who will learn the mysteries that I have learned. And when I pass from this world, will take my place here in the Citadel until it is done. And then you would take an apprentice, just as I have, to fight what has been released.
There's almost like an air of disbelief, and I think. Let me look at the bound of the bottle. I don't know the rules for it, so.
The rules are will dedication, and in the book it's TN 12, I'm gonna say. Yeah. So, yeah. So basically, he the gist is, out of character, he's giving you a chance to join him freely, as a player and a character agreeing to, or he will tempt you with the Shade of the Evening.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. I know I'm not going to pass this. No. Fuck. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to resist, sorry.
Geraldo kind of puts his hand on Ian's shoulder and kind of goes, I don't know how much I trust this Marwyn, but something is wrong here. We all feel it. I'd like to harass you, old man, but you might be someone to help stop this.
Marwyn nods and he's like, I will give you more information. I do not wish you to make a decision on half-cocked ideas and mysteries. Yes, I searched too deep, learned too many things, and, brought in assistants to aid me. Oh, by the time 10 years have passed now, I had more hedge wizards, shadowbinders, and other malcontents here in the Citadel than maesters. Well, it seemed like it, at least, around me. And something happened. I'm not exactly sure what, but one of my incantations went wrong, and, the Shadowbinders began their slow control over Oldtown and beyond. Each day the wastes grow, and they would continue to grow until we deduce a way to defeat it. Lord Ian, I would ask you, is this not something that is glorious, that is honorable? I do not ask you to do anything that would be against your liege. Indeed, if this grows to destroy Westeros, what can she rule? What will she rule? She will die as everyone else. A dragon that she might hatch will not help her. If you have
I have
family.
to see that my companions are brought back safely to the Queen.
Araldus kind of adds quickly, why not just kill these Shadowbinders and mages?
If I had the strength to do so, I would. There is more than just killing Shadowbinders and mages that would fix this problem. It is not that simple. It is already in motion, whether they live or die. If I leave this tower, well, it will be worse. Even now as we talk, I concentrate on holding back the wave of the shadow that is building.
It's just like a...
Lord Ian, I would ask you to stay with me by my side and help me fight this. If not, I will do as I must. I would
be my little choir boy for the rest of your life. No. So basically what he's asking. No.
It's not clear exactly what he's asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use a skill before I make a decision. I'm gonna use awareness empathy to understand what he's implying or get an understanding of what he's trying to get from me.
Okay.
Like...
I mean, as far as you can tell, he's asking for your service for life to... He's not lying. What it all means, you know, who knows, right? It's beyond comprehension.
Is he, like, meaning me ill intent?
Not specifically. Ill intent might come to you by serving him, but he doesn't know.
Okay.
If you get the feeling if he was wishing you ill intent, it would already be a done deal.
Well, unless anyone wants to help me with my will dedication, then I just have to roll.
All right, so let's see here.
Well, I don't know if it helps or not, but Cleric looks at Ian and says, "Remember your obligations."
He says, "Isn't your obligation to the world? Isn't..." I argue that you are performing your obligations to serve your lady and queen. If you do not help me, well, it will be bad. It will be bad for everyone. I will not have this chance again for an apprentice. That I can assure you. And eventually my days will expire, no matter how strong or wise. It is the way of things. Nothing lives forever.
I'm gonna try it. Go fuck yourself, Marwyn. Actually, I'll leave this one up to you, Ted.
What's that?
In a dedication, even though I've rolled it, I know who Ian is, but at the same time, I don't know whether. Honestly, I don't know like which direction you had planned for it. I don't know what a 16 is gonna do for me.
And you would get at least I don't know what other people's will is, but you get an assist. No, you don't have to drink it.
But it would be cool to have like a magic using character. Fuck.
Right, so then the question becomes, do you want to?
Like, it'd be so cool to have Ian later on. Like, that's the thing. Like, it'd be so cool to be like, can I have the usage of that sorcery book? You know, the fucking whatever the one. But I'd probably never play Ian again. That's the thing. He'd probably be a game master character at that point.
Marwyn doesn't act like you'll ever leave the Citadel again. He's not making any illusions about that. I mean, potentially, who knows, right? But it's up to you now. It's completely up to the player to decide. You do not have to drink the... Okay. So he looks very disappointed, and he's like, well, that is your decision, and you have not drank in the shade of the evening, and he kind of just throws it on the ground, and the decanter breaks and it spills on the floor, and he's like, repugnant stuff anyway. He's like, I will not be needing it now. It will be here, myself here until the end. By myself. He's like, that is a shame, Lord Ianspire. He's like, I wish you good fortune and as much money as you can count until the end.
But it wasn't about the money in the end. It was about, like, Daenerys. That was the dedication. It was like, fuck.
And he basically understands your, and he's like, as I told you, you are serving her. You are serving her by protecting her from what is to come.
I don't see any proof of this shadow.
He smiles. He goes, you will. You will. I have protected you so far, but when you leave this place with the dragon egg, I will not be able to keep you as protected. I will try my best, and I will send my golem with you. But
if I were to stay,
mm-hmm.
Can you guarantee there's safe passage all the way back to Lady Daenerys, or at some point I can interload, or you can?
He says, no, nothing is guaranteed. Their destiny is clear into a certain point. I can only guarantee you that we will keep the shadow at bay for longer, and hopefully defeat it with your wits and my training to you. I cannot guarantee anything past them leaving here in safety. As I said, the dragon egg will draw attention from the shadow to them. There's nothing that can be done about that. You staying here is, well, a boon to everyone living in the entire world. Not Westeros, but Essos and beyond. You will save thousands and thousands beyond thousands. Thousands beyond measure. Even if we fail, you will give people life, their children life, and their grandchildren lives. Eventually I will fail by myself, and this plague will spread, even if the Blade of Bravos succeeds, and the Lady Raven does as her destiny proclaims she will. But destinies are always in flux. When you walked in, you were my apprentice, and you leave, well, perhaps not. The page has not been written. You have surprised me here today. Or perhaps you have not.
Ian's like looking about ready to leave, and he you must understand the point this puts me in. I have everything I could need back home. I came here to do my duty to my queen. You're giving me some sort of direction, and I do not wish to partake in the shade of the evening any more than I should. And that should be made clear.
Then do not. I can train you without the shade of the evening. It will take longer, but it will be worth it in the end. You will see clear, you would not need it. It is a difficult thing, the shade of the evening. I do not ask you to do something simple, Lord Ian. I ask you for a sacrifice. You are sacrificing yourself for others. That is what it means to stay here with me.
But I can't rightly leave Claire and Araldus to go back unprotected or well.
You thought you were protecting me?
No, like it's not that. It's I can't allow them to go back alone. Like, I can't.
I will send the golem with them until it can walk no further, which will be the edge of Oldtown. But even that, I cannot guarantee they make it out safely. I do not know, Lord Ian, that your blade would help overly much. Your words may later, I will not deny, but there are others that I can foresee in my candle assisting their way.
Can your candle
Wittingly
tell
or
you about the deal
unwittingly.
that we made with the Ironborn?
He nods and he's like, the candle can show me many things.
Well, I ask that you use such a thing to at least aid us in that sense. Are the Ironborn going to be helpful? Could you allow their ships pass to my lands?
Oh, I can control nothing past these lands. I can only tell you what I see, and I see the destiny of the Ironborn is unwritten. I can tell you that you will not want to tarry here long if you wish to make it back to your ship. Things are always in flux, Lordian, as you will find if you become my apprentice.
I'm staying. But so help me, if I find that you're using me for ill content, I'll be a knife in the dark.
Let us hope it is not what you decide, Lordian. I am unprotected and can do little to defend myself. But death is a far better end than some things, and I have seen those things, and you have seen those things. Did you not? Did you not see the shadows? Forever in place? That is the true end that we both must fight against. And if you wish to stay, this is your last chance. You have said that you wish, but I do not know if you mean it. So this is your final offer. You stay or you go. But for Lady Raven and the Blade of Bravos, it is time for you to depart. There is no more waiting. A darkness will come over this town very soon. You do not wish to be caught out in it. That is for certain. My golem will help you along the way. But steel yourself. Lordian, if you are staying, I have a book for you to read. If not, I wish you well.
Yeah, I think Ian probably goes over to some like loose scribing paper and then like writes a bunch of shit and probably pulls out his personal seal and takes a nearby candle and stamps it, and he hands it to Claire with like his seal and everything. And you know, it takes like maybe 10 minutes for him to write it. It's like a big long letter. And it's like a letter to Lady or Queen Daenerys.
Well, Claire will secure it with the dragon egg.
And he kind of like rustles your hair and says, when you get home, take care of it.
Claire hugs Ian.
Okay, let's give Mike a couple minutes to come back. So if you get a bio break, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Just so you're clear, that's like a will and testament. Like my lands are forfeit. I didn't have any children anyway, and they now belong to Claire.
Isn't that what I just asked you today or yesterday? If you're gonna,
I told you that earlier. Like I straight up told you that earlier. Like
you told me no.
In the game.
You told me no. You weren't gonna give it to Claire because she was a peasant. You were joking.
Oh no. Earlier in the game, like two or three sessions ago, I joked about it. I joked that he had written his after the coin thing where she stole coin from Ian.
Yeah.
That
was the first session.
Yeah, like he joked about it, and and he actually wrote it down now. Like all his lands are hers, and I named her my inheritant.
Yeah. So I'm glad you chose, and it wasn't like by rolls. So I'm pleased that actually happened.
Yeah, I think that because the dedication for me was like fucking double-edged sword. Like really, like it means different things, right? Like
yeah.
It's so subjective. I hate things like that. That's why I like Pendragon, where it's like it's exactly what this is.
Yeah, I mean,
But
so say you failed, I would have been like, you're drinking the Shade of the Evening, and now you don't get a choice. You stay. That's essentially, it would be game over for that guy. But it's nice when you choose, right? Because still you just don't drink it and you choose. Yeah, I'll stay on my own. So that's better for role play and everything too, I think. So.
Yeah, I'm well in the hint of like Ian not liking the Shade of the Evening at all. Like, and by that role even so, like he does not want to partake in it.
He doesn't. Yeah, and he apparently is not going to. So, okay. So you want to say your goodbyes to Raldus as you stay?
Yeah, I think there's like a moment where like he's like his like really fancy sword. He like gives it to Raldus and he says, well, yeah, I won't be needing this anymore, at least for the time. Make sure it gets back to where it belongs, and make sure the lady here gets back to where she belongs.
I will guard her with my life, and we will return the eggs to the queen, and I will fulfill my promise to Marwyn.
And if you ever happen to be in Oldtown again, I'll make sure that the help make sure that your wine cup stays fresh. He says with an ignorant grin as he like looks around. I don't know what's in store for me, Araldus, but if I can help stop something, then for the queen, then I will.
Araldus, has grown to like Ian over the last month or so, and kind of says, being honest, he goes, good luck against whatever you're fighting here. May luck be with you. I don't think we'll see each other again.
I doubt it as well. Do give the queen my dearest regards. And please, speak on my defense if you can. I know she'll be angry, but...
She'll want to know what's going on here. This is bigger than you and Marwyn and us.
It's a shame I won't be Lord of the Stormlands.
I'll be sure to look over your lovely little rock island.
Don't worry. I've written clear instructions.
Of course. Good luck.
Besides, they're not mine anymore. If you can read, you might want to peruse that letter, although don't break the seal, whatever you do.
I haven't had anything to drink in a while. I'm fine.
And, he'll go see about this book.
And as Ian opens it, it's like, it says something about a lecture in the shadow, and it's written by Marwyn himself.
Marwyn the mage, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, this was a good one, apprentice. Study well. And he looks at the other two, and he's like, my golem will assist you in your escape. Steel yourself. It will not be easy.
Well, Claire gives a bow.
Nothing ever is.
Thanks, Marwyn.
He nods to you and he says, good luck, Lady Raven, and to the Blade of Bravos. And he kind of walks over to Ian, puts his hand on his shoulder, and starts like pointing down at the script, and he's like, we have much work to do. Let us begin.
Woo! If Ian doesn't show up later on, I'm gonna be so mad. Like in a different game somewhere.
You never know.
When the plot moves forward from 318. Oh God.
There is one thing before Raldus leaves.
Yeah.
He does have one question for Marwyn.
Sure.
What happened to House Gardner?
He's like, that is a good question. He says, House Gardner never existed since it was destroyed by Aegon Targaryen. It's like House Gardener is a front. The Shadowbinders, they twist things and make things up. But really it is they who rule. They're knights. Yes, they are not exactly knights. They are people, but not exactly people. They have no will of their own. He's like, the Magister that you met in the launch, for instance, he is a Shadowbinder. I'm afraid that he thought you were full of, he did not believe your story. He sent you here to die. Either the waste or this place for certain would kill you, but he does not know what I know. Do not go back there, would be my suggestion. The launch, that is. Bypass it with all haste.
Will we be able to make due east for the Reach and the Rose Road?
The wastes are difficult. I would suggest going the way you came, but not going to the launch itself and finding your ship. I think that is the best way that I can foresee. This Ironborn captain, well, he has a role to play in your destiny, and his destiny as well.
Very well.
Claire glances at Araldus. Shall we?
We shall.
Okay. So you head back down the tower, and you notice this golem kind of following you. And you notice that it has as it leaves, it picks up a weapon. You didn't see the weapon before. It's some sort of sword. And it just follows you down where you crawl and stuff. It just kind of jumps off the edge and like plummets to the bottom of the tower and crashes down as you keep going. And then as it falls, it kind of slowly rises up with cracked armor and whatnot. It doesn't appear like it could have got down any other way. As you peek out outside, you notice that there's a lot more light out, which seems odd. And so what do? You're outside the tower now.
When's the last time we rested? Like, we exhausted, or was...
No, that conversation probably took as long as it did, an hour.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you're tired from the travel, but not so much exhausted. I mean, and just to refresh your memory, right? You left the guide out in a small oak cave outside of Oldtown.
Yeah, well, I'm just basically looking to see if we have enough time to get back to that cave and like kind of rest up there. I know the dragon only takes us to the edge of Oldtown, and then to meet up with him and head back through the waste to the launch or near the launch.
I mean, it seems like you probably do. I mean, you couldn't tarry overly long. You weren't here very long at all, an hour, right? And it's nothing in the grand scheme of things. It took you three days to get from the launch to here. That includes resting. I mean, you didn't just do it without sleep or anything. And then I think it's only a couple hours from the launch to where the Golden Goose was docked. So you do have time to get back, but it's going to be close. And maybe Shadrach delays, maybe he doesn't, but...
Let us make haste. I don't want to be left behind in this accursed land.
Claire agrees with that sentiment.
So as you head out into the streets, you notice that there's, an incredible amount of shadows, like that seem to be cast from the light, and the ravens are just, you notice like at least 20 ravens or 24 just like flying over your head like constantly. And all of a sudden, standing in a doorway that you kind of come across is a figure with a red lacquered mask. And they don't say anything, but then you notice one of those shadows that are kind of burned into the wall, like peel off the wall and kind of, keeps its semi-humanoid form, and like in their eyes, like a white twilight kind of like begins to sparkle in front of you. And so we are going to this. All right, so we're going to roll initiative. Feel free, Rivers, to control the golem.
Ooh.
So you should have control of it now. Araldus had an injury from before, so that's still there. So let's go ahead and roll initiative. So go ahead and roll your agility quickness, guys.
The mountain. Let's see, agility, quickness. Oh wait, hold on. It doesn't have any quickness. Never mind. Oh, hold on. I need to change my name from Ian to Golem.
Yep. Oh, where'd it go? How's my turn tracker? Sorry. Okay. So Clear rolled a 9. Golem rolled an 8.
I was just verifying something for Water Dancer.
Yeah, that's fine. You roll it and let me know.
We'll add 3 to this.
Okay.
So 16.
Claire, what's your agility? Is it 4?
Agility is a 2.
Oh, a 2. Okay. So you guys are tied. Do you have any bonuses in quickness?
No.
Okay. 16 for Araldus, is that what you said?
Actually, it's going to be 14 because I didn't factor in my armor penalty.
I'm not doing it, don't worry about it.
Then it was 16.
Okay. Alright, let me Okay, so alright, so as you walk out, suddenly the shadows peel off the wall and just lurch for you, and as you notice, before you're even ready, they're on top of you, kind of looming over you. Araldus?
Araldus shouts to the golem, "Protect the girl," and attacks the middle one to see really what they're made of, to see if his steel can actually cut through these things. So gonna do a distract first, and then a standard attack.
And distract, what does that? Remove its awareness, is that right?
Yes.
Yep, I need to beat their passive will with my cunning roll to subtract their awareness.
Okay, so you'll go against an 8. That's fine. Okay, so
Let me make sure that's rolled correctly here.
Yeah, there should be a -1, which there is, right? So there was not in your cunning, but it doesn't matter.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so you basically jab at the shadow, and it feels like stabbing like water, kind of, and it just like evaporates before you. Claire?
Well, that was Geralt is kind of like wide-eyed, swings through it, and very satisfied with himself.
Yeah, Claire doesn't really think she can match Geraldus' skill with the blade. She's more interested in trying to distract and then whatever the defensive... What's the defensive...
Cautious attack?
Well, I suppose.
Or full defense. Like, here's one thing that, out of character. So, you now have the cohort ability, and it's your flock of ravens. And essentially that will give you +1d on your attacks. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Now that might not change your, opinion of what to do. It's fine, but...
Yeah, Claire's really kind of freaked out by whatever the supernatural shadow creature thing is. So yeah, what's a full defense?
The full defense. Let me look real quick. I think it's I'm just
Greater
trying to.
action.
Yeah,
Dodge.
but that doesn't help if she doesn't have dodge as a specialty, right?
No, you can still roll agility, and that roll supersedes your base combat defense, whether it's better or worse.
Oh, well, that's not good then.
Yeah, that's not a good trade. Even though my combat defense.
There's something else. There's
rolling 2 dice against a 10 isn't smart.
Where is it? There's some. I thought there was something else. Bear with me.
Defensive attack, or whatever it's called.
Cautious attack, yeah.
Cautious attack adds 3 to your combat defense, but does a -1d to your attack roll. So basically it would cancel out the ravens.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's what she'll do, is a distract and a cautious attack.
Okay. So with a cautious attack, you just roll your base, and you can use your marksmanship from here, right? There's nothing that says you can't do that. This is not D&D where you're gonna take a attack of opportunity or something like that. If you want to use your crossbow skill, you most certainly can.
Okay, well, she would do that then.
Yeah.
And for the distract, under the description for sleight of hand, it says you can substitute a thievery test for a cunning test whenever you distract in combat.
Okay, sounds good.
So she will try to distract via sleight of hand.
That worked. So you're rolling against the 8. You just roll your base.
Marksmanship.
Yep.
Yeah, this still probably isn't going to be great, but let's see what happens.
A 9, so that hits. So what's your damage on that? 3 or something?
Yep.
Okay, so you shoot it and it doesn't disappear. The ravens are like flying all around it, and you shoot it, but it doesn't disappear. And just mark that you have +3 combat defense.
Okay.
Okay. So in the back, the figure with the lacquered mask kind of puts its hands together, and all of a sudden, another shadow comes off the wall over here. Okay, it's the golem's turn.
It's going to move there and do as ordered and smack the shit out of this thing.
Okay.
What kind of weapon does this thing have? I think it has. Is it in its?
That's a great sword.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It's probably just like a great stick, but
some big thing.
It's a great sword, but it uses the flat of it.
It does have an endurance of 7, so.
Fighting.
Yeah, if you
It doesn't have any bonus dice.
Nope.
Ooh.
So, even though is distract just from you, or is it for everything? It doesn't matter. It still misses, but
Until attacked.
Until
Okay.
attacked, or it's for anybody, but
so it
me
missed.
attacking it.
Yeah, so it has its full combat defense. So the golem moves up, swings, and misses. Araldus, you're back up.
Alrighty. I assume diagonal attacks don't work. Like, I have to move one to the left.
No, you can diagonal
Right.
attack. That's fine.
Okay. We'll probably do the same thing here then. So we'll do a cunning and a standard.
Kind of misses. It's a bad one. Still hit though. That's 2 degrees of success. So again, you kind of turn and with your left hand dagger and your Bravosi blade stab it on both sides, and it kind of just like disappears after a very slight resistance of your blade. It's a very odd feeling because you're used to people, obviously. Clears up again.
Okay.
Shoot the spellbinder.
Right.
Shoot the masked woman.
Right, that's the idea. I guess she tries. That's not far.
Yeah, you can aim.
Distract on
You can
the-
aim. You can aim shoot too if you wanted.
Aim plus the flock of ravens. I guess maybe there's a chance she hits.
Yeah. Well, if you aim, you get a plus. So, what's your marksmanship?
It's just a 2.
And you have a crossbow. You have crossbow skill.
Um,
I thought you did, but
I thought I did too. But, I mean, let me look at the actual sheet.
yeah, you just might not have got put in here somehow. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Oh, no,
No?
I
Okay.
apparently do not.
So you would roll 4d6, keep 3, if that's what if you wanted to aim and shoot at her.
Yeah, and I suppose Claire would load up one of the poison darts for this shot.
Okay.
And what would be the effect of spending a destiny point here?
If you wanted to spend a destiny point, you could add a bonus die to your attack. That's one thing you can do. You can, yeah, I think you can lower their combat defense by 5. Those are the 2 things that I can think of off the top of my head that are directly. I think that's right. Can you do that? Yeah, we'll say you can. But so one of those 2 things. Isn't that right, Mike? I can't remember.
I think it's, and I'll find it here real quick. I think it's spending a destiny point. You can actually convert a bonus die to a test die.
I thought you. Yeah, maybe. Here it is. Yeah. So gain 1 bonus die, convert 1 bonus die to a test die, Remove 1d, bestow 1d, take an extra lesser action, ignore armor penalty for one round, improve or worsen another's disposition, negate a destiny point expenditure. That's
Well,
pretty much it.
convert one bonus die to a test die here. That would make it roll 4, keep 4.
Yep.
That's probably
That's a
worth
good
trying.
one.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
I'll just
Manual.
roll
yeah.
d6.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I think that is a hit still. Let's see.
Painful.
Yeah, that's bad.
God. Oh, God almighty. Like,
That's
whoa.
that's wow.
That's some
Sam.
killer shit right there.
Yeah, take it. She will take an injury. Negates that. So you shoot, and it hits a spellbinder or shadowbinder in the shoulder, and she kind of flinches. And what happened to my shadows? They just because I fucking they should have went first. So anyway, the shadows get next since I just deleted the wrong one. Because I didn't. Hold on, they were actually.
Because
Here.
Tet is smart.
Well, it's because I just copied the same token. I didn't
Yeah.
enter it 100 times. So basically, the shadows attack. This one attacks Araldus.
Wasn't that one killed? Didn't he dissipate when I attacked him?
There
or
were
is he
three.
still
There were
alive?
3 down here, right? And 2
Yeah,
are gone.
I killed one the first round,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
then
didn't hit.
Golem missed. Claire
okay,
missed.
no, yep.
And then shot the spellbinder. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So this one's gonna attack Araldus. Let me bring it up. So, is it keeping 4 there? Yeah. So basically, that's a 19.
Let me double check my math here. 5, 4, 3, 12, 13, 14. 1 success.
Okay, 5 damage. Minus your armor, whatever that would be.
So 2 damage.
So although you stab it, when it stabs you, it feels very real. Very real. This shadow moves over and attacks the golem.
His combat defense is not good.
No, it's not good.
Combat defense of 4.
So that's 3 degrees of success. Actually, that's 4. That's 4 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's 20 minus his armor, which
Is 8.
8. So he takes 12 damage. It can take wounds and injuries, so if you decide to.
How does that work again? I know it decreases the damage by.
So if he takes an injury, that's you subtract his endurance from your damage. Okay, and you just get a -1, flat -1. So he has 7 endurance.
Yeah, then I'll take an injury.
Yeah,
I'll take an injury.
Yeah.
And then he'll take fucking like 5 damage from that.
Yep. So. Alright, set. Alright. So they're done. So it's a Shadowbinder's turn. And she makes another shadow. Golem's turn. I'll just put them there. That's fair.
Golem is going to try and smack a. Well, He can't really do anything other than smack, I think. Yeah, no. He's only here to tank.
Yeah, so
and if that.
You can aim too, so give yourself an extra bonus dice to your roll. That's a miss.
Yeah, he can't do much better than that.
Oh,
actually,
no, but you didn't do a bonus dice there.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you?
3 + 1. He doesn't have any great sword. He doesn't have anything.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's a 9, so.
Yep.
He can't hit at all, basically.
All right, Araldus.
Araldus is going to spend a destiny point to gain an extra action.
Okay.
Because he needs to do a move and then a charge to get to the spellbinder.
Okay.
If you want to double check my math, that should be
that's
a
fine.
move of 4 and then a charge.
Yeah,
So
you get plenty of charge, so yeah. So -1d and then +2 damage. Why did you have to be tactical?
This is basically what Araldus just did, right there. For those of you not recording. The whole Lancelot Monty Python charge.
Yeah.
So that's your attack?
Yes.
Alright, it's 1 degree of success. What's your damage?
7.
Let's see.
The golem might die here shortly.
It was only temporarily useful.
Another injury. Claire, you're up.
Alright. Do I run a chance of shooting Araldus if I fire at the...
Not technically, no. There's no rule for that.
Well, then I think we will repeat what we did last time.
Okay. But you're not going to use the destiny point this time.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so you're going to be rolling 4d6, keep 3.
Yep, the temptation exists. Spend one more, the last one, but maybe not yet. Good grief.
That's a hit, which your damage 3.
Yep.
So it's a pretty poor shot, but it does take the spellbinder in the stomach, and the spellbinder kind of lurches over and falls down, and blood like trickles out of the spellbinder's stomach, and that basically the body just goes up in kind of like smoke, I guess you could say, into a shadow, and all of a sudden it turns into another shadow. And the shadows attack. The top shadow attacks Araldus. 16.
1 degree.
5 damage. What'd you take last time, by the way? Took 2?
2. Yep, I'm down. I have 8 of
left.
12.
Yep. Okay. The 2 golems are both going to attack. Or I'm sorry, the 2 shadows are both going to attack the golem. So first one, say it's the one on the left, 16. That's 3 degrees of success, so that's 15 damage. You can also take wounds, so.
Yeah, it's 8. He's gonna take another injury.
Okay.
And that'll do 1 damage.
Okay. Alright, and here's another one. What did I roll?
That's 3 degrees of success.
12. That is, that's not even 3. Your defense is 4, right?
Yep, 4. I thought it was over.
That's 2 degrees. Over 5 is 2 degrees, 10 is 3.
Okay.
So, 2 degrees of success, right? So it's 10 minus
8.
So
he's gonna take that damage.
Okay.
You take the 2 damage.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. This other shadow moves down and attacks Claire. I didn't name for them, but I don't care. Whatever. All right. So one more. So attacks Claire. 18. What's Claire's defense?
With the cautious defense, it is a 13.
Did you do a cautious on your last attack? I don't think you did you? Or did you? Have you when you were
Maybe
shooting?
Probably.
Yeah,
Didn't you do an aim and
yeah, yep, that's right.
standard?
Yeah, it's just the next.
Okay, so it's a 10.
10, 2 degrees of success, 10 damage. What's your armor?
Poor. Let's see. Where is armor? Armor rating is a 1.
So you take 9 damage. So that is more than that's equal to your health. So if you want to negate it all, you can take a wound. But for the rest of the game session, essentially until you're healed, and this is other rolls too, right? You'll take -1 test die, or you can take an injury, which would basically put you at 6 or 3 of 9 for an injury, and you just take a -1. Otherwise, you're defeated.
Yeah, I think she'll take an injury.
Okay, makes sense to me. So we'll give you an injury. Okay. Got it set up. Golem.
Okay. He is going to. Araldus, I need your fucking help. No.
Just gotta hold out a little longer.
There are 3 full health shadows, and I can't hit them at all.
Well, aim would be the first thing. Or reckless attack. There's a reckless attack. Reckless attack gives you...
That's a terrible idea. Don't listen to him.
I'm not trying to fuck you guys over, I swear. Well, not by telling you to do a reckless attack. Because he can take, out of character GM hint, he has 7 endurance, so you can take a shit ton of wounds and injuries.
I have been, but I don't have that much HP.
21 health to start. You can take 7 injuries and 7 wounds.
6 wounds, but yeah.
6, excuse me, yes.
Yeah, but a ton. But, I mean, I'm trying to find it here. What does reckless attack do? I think it gives you plus 1d. I don't know.
Plus 1d, but -5 to your combat defense until your next turn.
Yeah, so basically you have 0 combat defense until your next turn.
not worth it.
He's gonna hit you for 4 degrees of success, is what that means.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Maybe you'll roll well. 12, that's a hit.
That's the one on Claire, and it's 6 damage.
So, I don't think these things have any armor. I don't think I gave them any. Let's see. Barring that, he'll be dead. Yep, that one's dead. So the golem just whips around, swings his great sword, and chops that one in half, so to speak. Heraldus.
Alrighty. We will do an aim and an attack.
Dead.
Yes, 5 damage per.
Claire.
Okay. Claire will aim and attack
This one.
on the one, yeah. And so, aim gives her 1 bonus die.
Yeah,
the
so you have
ravens give her 1.
one test die. So you would have,
Right.
starting that's 4d6 keep
Keep 3.
3 minus 1. Right, because you took an injury.
Right.
Hit. That's 1 degree of success. That's 3 damage. So you hit it, but it doesn't falter. Alright, there you go. They both attack the golem. The one north of the golem goes. 19. That is 3 degrees of success. 4 degrees of success, actually, right? No, 3. Sorry, that's a 15. Or let me see. 4. That's 4 degrees.
If he has, does he have combat defensive 0 still?
No, he never did. He didn't do that. He just attacked. So he has 4. So that's 15. 15 is 4 degrees of success, right?
Yes.
I'm almost
Yep,
positive.
it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is.
So that's 20 damage. Minus 8, 12 damage. What do you think?
How much health do you have left for the ogre or golem?
He's got 13.
If you take 1 injury, that subtracts 7 damage.
Yeah.
Yep, I know.
Or you could take 2. You could take 2 injuries in a turn, I think.
Yeah, you can take injuries up to, your endurance limit.
Yeah. So you could take 2 injuries here and take no damage. So you would have a 3 total injuries.
That'd be 4 injuries.
No, because you had 1 before, right? Or did you have 2?
I have 2.
Oh, okay.
4 injuries.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, 4 injuries, so -4 on all tests. Now I really can't hit him.
And now the other one attacks you. So that's only 3 degrees of success. 15 minus 8, so 7.
Just gonna take another injury.
Okay. All right. Golem.
Well, he's gonna attempt to hit this thing, but with a -4, he can't really. Yeah, no, he rolled a 1, so.
Okay, so it swings and misses. Heraldus.
Charge!
Yeah, you got charged to get there. One degree of success. How much damage is that?
5 damage.
So you stab it, but it doesn't quite go down. Claire?
Alright, same target, same...
Yep, same one.
Yep.
That's a good roll. So that hits it and kills it. Just your crossbow bolt just like enters it and slows down and drops behind it. One left. Golem, can you be the hero? Oh, no, it's actually the Shadow's turn. So the Shadow, for whatever reason, turns away from the Golem and attacks Araldus because the GM wants to.
Oh, hey, by the way, real quick, I didn't, I charged him, didn't I? The damage was 7, not 5.
Oh, then it's dead. Okay, so...
He turns around and dies like a
it just disintegrates. So the ravens are like circling and you hear, go, 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 go. It seems very clear what they're saying now.
I can understand them now. Let's run.
So the golem keeps up with you all the way to the edge of the town, and as you kind of go into those dirt paths, and your horses are actually still there and they're covered in dirt, the golem kind of goes inert, and turns around and kind of starts laboring back towards the citadel.
He wasn't joking when he said the edge of town, and Rawls kind of jumps on his horse, not even worrying about patting off the dust and whatnot.
Yeah, Claire's all for making haste.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Are you just going to head into the waste? You going to try to find your guide, or...
Yeah, go to the cave and find him.
Yeah, I think that's the reasonable course of action.
So you head back to that cave, and he is not there. So he was supposed to, be there, but no, didn't show. Not there anymore. Completely gone.
And
no sign of him.
No sign of struggle or a trail of blood, because didn't he get his ass beat pretty bad?
He had an arrow to the knee. You see blood in the cave, but the wind is so bad that it's probably covered up if there was any trail of blood. Unfortunately.
Claire, do you feel like pulling an all-nighter and heading for the ship, or do you need to rest?
I think Claire would be all for getting as far away from here as we can.
Hopefully that magic the little girl bestowed upon us is still active, so we can make our way through.
Okay. So you head back into the wastes, and it's deep into the night. You're forced to stop at some point, but you stop a minimal amount of time. Why don't you both give me a survival roll? This is including your injuries, so you both get a -1 to your roll. So do a survival. If there is an orientation, I don't think either of you have it, but if you did, that would be great. You may use destiny points.
The crows that she has, maybe.
Holy balls.
Yeah, man, that's why we had a fucking guide. They're gonna get hopelessly lost. Fuck.
So you head out into the wastes, and essentially you end up not really knowing where you are, and the wind is just pounding you, the sand is pounding you, the exposure, the heat. You each take another injury.
Well, good job dying in the desert.
But eventually, you're pretty sure it's that 3-day window within. You see the launch in the distance. You basically got lost for a little while and probably found your way sort of back, and you see it, in the distance. And 1 second. And so, are you going to the launch, or are you going to go around it, or?
Yeah, we avoid.
Around. Yeah, we're gonna take Marwin's advice and avoid it and find a more, circuitous route.
Yep.
To the. Yep.
Okay. So, your first stop, a cave. You only come up empty. Your guy, Sir Bywater, was gone. The 3 remaining days were full of peril and suffering. It was extraordinarily hot as the sun beat down upon your shoulders. For the last day, you have had no food or water. Your lips are parched and stomachs empty. You think better than setting out for the launch, given what Marwin has told you and the way you were treated last time around. Instead, you make directly for where the longboat was beached. Eventually, exhausted and hungry, you spot where you had left it. However, something has happened. The dead float in the water, and the rest are on the shore. Some were Ironborn, but some were someone else. Not anyone you know for certain. As you arrive, Shadrach is arguing with a group of men, seeming trying to keep them from taking the ship and leaving these lands.
Araldus kind of comes up exhausted, injured from the scorching heat and the perils of the waste, and goes up to Shadrach and says, "It's time to leave these lands now."
Rivers, do you want to play Shadrach?
Yeah, just whisper me how he'd play. I don't know.
What's a whisper command /W?
/W. You should see names if you type my name in. I think it's Rivers. Just type it in. If not, you can just tell me now. I don't care.
I mean, essentially, he's trying to keep them from... They were attacked by a group from shore. Shadrach, being the knowledgeable person he is, knows them as Faith Militant. You didn't know what they're doing down here, why they attacked him necessarily. And basically, they are late getting back, not by an exorbitant amount, but half a day, maybe a little more. And the crew is trying to leave without them. They've seen a lot of death with absolutely nothing.
What is Shadrach's? Is there a way I could just fast track, try to get him on target? Because I mean,
You mean the people? Your people? Your crew?
Yeah, just snap my fingers and say, "Hey, stop being dickheads."
Yeah, that is long gone. They don't not. You've had nothing but problems with these guys since. And in the distance, you see 2 horses approaching, and it's a girl and a guy.
Obviously, before he will raise the attention of there. Our party returns.
And they turn
now
around.
Quit your griping.
He's like, they're not all there. And as they
might have run into trouble, as you can see, and he points to blood, obviously dried blood and shit on their clothes.
Araldus kind of pulls back the reins and stops the horse and goes, "It's just Claire and I. Syrian won't be joining us on the remainder of this voyage."
And so the dudes are the Ironborn are he was the one that had the money. He was the one that had the fleet. Now we have nothing.
Yes, now Claire has the money. You should say that something.
Yeah, they haven't opened it. They don't know that. It's sealed.
His word still carries weight, and the bargain that you struck with him still holds.
And obviously, you could give that letter to Shadrach, or not give it to him, but bring forth it, repute my honor or do something. Let me look at Shadrach's character sheet if he's got it.
Yeah, I can share it with you.
Does he have any persuasion or anything? Or
I think so. You're going to see some things in there you don't expect.
The catch there is that you told Claire to deliver this document that she does not know the contents of to Queen Daenerys, and so...
And don't break the seal, I do believe you said.
And so she feels that, I mean, that's a moral obligation that she has to her friend Ian.
Yeah, it's shared.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have that stuff in there. Good, okay.
Yeah, well, he's not that good. For what I can tell. Yeah, he'll try to... Fuck, he can't really do anything. Attempt to rouse...
So let's do this. Let's have an intrigue. One of our quick intrigues. Persuasion, deception. You need a certain amount of successes in 2 rounds. And the more that actually participate, so you will need more successes. If all 3 of you participate, then it's going to be plus 3 successes you need.
God, I wish I would have named it for Shadrach's eyes and another letter for Queen Daenerys. That would have made things better, but I wasn't forethinking.
Which makes sense, right? He's just about to do something life-changing. What's he? He's not going to think about an Ironborn necessarily. So the Ironborn are getting very hostile. They're like, he's not here. He's the one who's going to give us a ship. He's the one who's going to get us the gold. Now we just have the girl and the Bravosi.
God, I don't know Shadrach, so I don't want to speak for him. So I'm just gonna attempt a persuasion.
That's fine. You roll, and I can. I mean, he's just gonna try to get him in line with his.
Actually, you know what? Deception. I can use deception, can I?
Yes,
I can.
Absolutely.
Deception bluff. He has that trained. Basically, he's gonna carouse. Like, I had confidence or private talks with Lord Ian and blah 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 blah. And Shadrach's gonna say some shit like, and Claire is his child. Thus, if he is not here, she is acting as his. He had spoken to me about acting as his heir, and his word will stand by her.
Yeah, and that has a hint of truth to it too. Yeah, because that's how she was known. So yeah, roll it.
Oh my God. Can I use a destiny point or some shit?
No. Shatter. Actually, well, I don't know if I know what his destiny points are here.
You have one in there.
Okay, then you can use it. You can add a bonus die and roll 1d6.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking Shadrach, don't be a fucking tool.
I mean, it's going to count because you rolled a 1 for your last one.
Nice. 11.
11. So, okay. So they kind of stop talking for a minute and listen to you at the very least. The rest of you two going to say anything?
That's up to Claire.
This is like burn destiny point shit right here. Because, fuck. Holy fuck. Because if you get left here, or worse, this is the Ironborn we're talking.
Yeah, Claire will lay it on that if they honor their end of the agreement, that she'll do everything in her power to see that Ian's end of the agreement is upheld.
Okay, and you can spend your destiny points. I suggest you spend them all because they don't transfer. I mean, the next session they'll be refilled. Burning is a different story, but at least spending.
And I think she really sort of means that she will try to see that.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think maybe this is more like a
Persuasion.
Charm or convince, yeah.
You can do charm. That's fine.
And I guess we go ahead and spend the last destiny point here.
Okay, so that's 76 keep 4 minus 1. Minus 2. Minus 2, actually. Injury. Okay. Alright, and so they listen to her as well, and they're like, if she's a daughter, she can speak for the old man. And then, but there's some people who are like, who cares about a woman? We should take her into the back and make her our thrall, our salt wife. Geraldus, are you going to say anything?
Araldus kind of doesn't have time for this shit after fighting shadows and a half-dragon, and understands that the Ironborn respect, strength and by the finger dance that he had earlier, and he goes, her voice carries the same weight as Sir Ian's. Now shut the fuck up, follow your captain, and get your ass on the boat. The next person that complains, I'm gonna run a sword through their fucking face.
Ooh. So that's intimidate.
I have no intimidate, but we'll go ahead and roll it anyway.
Okay. Well, let me see. What persuasion do you have? Oh,
was it charm?
That's persuasion charm. Like, he is a Bravosi. I would vote that he could chop someone by stabbing them in the face.
That's my epic.
Go ahead and roll deception in some way. That's fine. Maybe you really aren't going to do it. That's unnecessary. Okay. All right,
Critical failure.
They seem to be taken aback by it slightly.
Like, what? This milksop just threatened us?
Yeah. Alright, so what's Shadrach gonna say?
Something dark side. No. He is going to try and reaffirm the situation by continuing to bluff along with the whole she is his daughter, although he doesn't know that. And obviously, he points to like the sealed letter, and Shadrach kind of produces like something to show that would have been a seal for Lord Ian, or would have been Lord Ian's seal, like a paper or something that he would give in and say, "Hey, this is his seal. It's obviously sealed by him. It means something in Westeros, and obviously, the seal's not broken. So there's obviously a letter of writ and a letter of something of nature of like pardons and the use of lands and the selling of ships and all that other stuff."
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Okay. So they are looking over the letter, and none of them really know what the seal is, but they seem to be in agreement, kind of. They're just waiting for more proof. They're still unsure. Claire?
Yeah, I guess Claire's best tactic is more of the same. Doesn't have another destiny point to spend, but...
Right. So she's rolling 64 minus 2.
Right.
That's a pretty good roll. That is what? Okay, so as you reaffirm that you are Lord Ian's daughter, which was the rumor anyway, for what he said, what he was telling everyone, the Ironborn begrudgingly nod and head back towards the ship, and Shadrach's like, we need to go, and we need to go quickly to get these men mind off their troubles and find us some gold quickly. Something. Or we're going to lose control of these people.
Claire, guess what? Give them the fucking 3 dragons, because that's a lot of money. Or the 2 dragons, 2.5, like 0.9. Just give it to him. Fuck it.
They don't need shit.
Yeah, I guess we could. I mean, if
Yeah, I
we
mean,
have
you can
2.9,
give it to him. So basically, as you get on the ship and get out to sea, you hand over the gold to Shadrach to kind of like grease the palms, and it seems to placate them, at least for now. He's saying this is just a mild, what we found, or what they found and brought back to us. Later we'll have a whole trove of treasure. And he looks at both you, and he's like, I require you below deck. And as you head below deck, he asks, which way are we going, north or south?
Could we have gotten that information? Like, because that's what Ian was wanting. If what's his face could have made the seas calmer, but if he can't, then
we go south. That's the only way to get to.
Unless you want to backtrack, it's as you go out, the seas do seem calmer, but.
This is where Cthulhu grabs us and we all die. No.
Yeah, the Kraken.
Shadrach, we sail south around, stay far away from Oldtown. I'll explain in greater detail later. And we go east along Dorne and up to...
South around the Horn with business in King's Landing.
Exactly. And of course, if we run across a ship along the way that needs liberation from its crew, that should placate your men.
Shadrach nods slightly, and he's like, if I have enough crew to take anything. And he looks, and it looks like they lost a sizable amount of men in the fighting.
You have me.
And Shadrach rolls his eyes and looks at both of you, and he's like, where are your books? And as you head out to sea, that question lingers as he wonders what you really went to get, as you clearly are not toting a bunch of books back. And so...
Oh, there wasn't any books. Sorry, Shadrach.
Araldus in his mind's like, bitch, do I look like I like reading?
Yeah. And so as you head back out to sea and start to turn south towards Dorne, the screen fades to black, so to speak. And that's it.